the oil. Buhari gives reason why he sought settlement in Nigeria. Buhari mentioned what informed the federal government's decision to suspend yesterday the establishment of cattle settlement in some states. The public outrage that was triggered by the policy, many would say, but it was learned yesterday that President Muhammadu Buhari put on the cattle settlement project, popularly called Ruga, because some senior officials in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and other federal civil servants twisted the National Livestock Transformation Program (NLTP) to achieve a different aim. News of the suspension was broken yesterday by Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi after a meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the State House in Abuja. Many Nigerians, including senior advocates of Nigeria, SANS, Femi Falana, Dele Adeshina, and Paul Ananaba, as well as elder statesmen Pa Ayo Fasami and Chief Njo, have been hailing the suspension. Benue State Governor and the Pan-Igbo social political group Ohaneze have mentioned as a step in the right direction. The rule not integrated with the NLTP, agreed upon by the 36th Council (NEC). The President also uncovered how contract sums for various aspects of the Ruga project were heavily overpriced. While solar panels were put at tens of millions of naira each, boreholes were to be procured at an average of 20 million each. But a new implementation committee for the project under the auspices of NLTP will soon take off. The committee might comprise members of NEC, the National Food Security Council (NFSC), and the Federal Executive Council. According to a source who spoke in confidence with our correspondents, the President only suspended the cattle settlement project because of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development derailed governors agreed on at NEC. The source said the President opted for the suspension of Ruga project because it was at variance with what was agreed upon by the governors at the National Economic Council (NEC) and other levels of government on the National Livestock Transformation Program (NLTP). The officials of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, who are the promoters of the controversial Ruga settlement project, went overboard. They proceeded with the implementation of the scheme as opposed to the National Livestock Transformation Plan (NLTP), developed by the National Economic Council and approved by the federal government. The President, on hearing about the Ruga matter, first expressed surprise about the program and then got agree on its connection with the NLTP. Professor Osinbajo had also strongly resisted, arguing that it made nonsense of the NLTP, a very deliberate and elaborate plan developed by NEC and a plan which the federal government had okayed. The President covered that not only was Ruga not under the VP but to the NLTP. He then ordered a suspension Tuesday afternoon. The source said, pleading not to be named because he was not permitted to talk to the media, which heated up the policy are sideline P and its action plan, lack of consultation with the governors, states on Ruga, gazetting of land in states without deferring to state governments, and high cost of implementing some components of the project. The source added, when news about broke out, it immediately raised widespread controversy and other interests expressed surprise on how it was developed. They alleged that there were no consultation with states, especially regarding lands, which according to the law is vested. Annoyed that senior officials of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and other government officials purport to use gazetted land in the state for the purpose of building rural settlements without creating a wrong impression that the federal government was trying to take belonging to states and the people in those states. There was visible panic in the villa on Monday when senior officials in the president's office were trying to get information about Ruga and its connection to the NLTP, although some in the office had tried to suggest that Ruga and NLTP are the same. Responding to a question, the source said it was also discovered that the contract sums allocated for various were heavily overpriced. For instance, purchase of solar panel put at tens of million naira each, while boreholes were also to be procured at an average cost of 20 million each. The vice president had been to the fray last Friday when the secretary of the Magban, Ngazama, claimed a television interview that was being supervised by the office of the VP. An apparently angry VP same day issued what was seen as a disclaimer, disclosing that his office was not supervised and explaining that the NLTP is a different program altogether. Committee to implement the NLTP will soon be set up. The government, the national length, is not planning to go back on NLTP, which include building of ranches. The details are being worked out, but whatever is agreed upon will be optional for any of the 36 states to be part of NLTP, from the National Economic Council, the National Food Security Council, and the Federal Council, depending on the plan approved by NEC in conjunction with the President. Thank you, viewers, for listening to this news. Please, your contribution and your comment is mostly welcomed. As you can hear and as you can see from the video, reason why the President suspended rural settlements and not cancellation. Yes, your opinion is mostly counted and contributed to the development of this state. Thank you and God bless. Click on the subscription button. Click on the bell button to get more updates. Thank you.